What's up, everybody? My name is Brendan Hufford. Welcome to 100 Days of SEO. Today, I want to talk to you about a tactic that has radically changed my life. It's called the Dream 100. Let's do it.
All right, what's up? We are in my computer. The goal of this video, the Dream 100 for SEO, is to help you go from sad SEO pug to happy SEO pug. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about link building past, link building present, link building future, how you win, and then I am going to actually walk you through an example. Not an example from the digital marketing space where things are obvious, but from another blogging space that I think will be really helpful for everybody here that's watching that has clients or does work in the non-digital marketing space. So I'm really excited for this. If you have already checked out my beginner link building video, you'll see a little bit of overlap between that and this. But if you want to take it to a new level, it's definitely worth watching. If you watch until the end of the video, I got a really special offer for you. It's not an opt-in. I'm not trying to get your email address, but I think you're going to be pretty pumped about it. So make sure you watch all the way to the end. If you're new here, I'm Brendan Hufford. I'm the founder of SEO for the Rest of Us in 100 Days of SEO. I'm also the SEO director at Click Studios, where I help everybody from local Chicago businesses like window washers and real estate agents to $100 million venture-backed startups and global sports brands. And I'm also a teacher. I was a teacher for 10 years, so I'm going to bust out all my teaching chops, maybe even some dad jokes. Let's do a quick review of things. So what are the SEO ranking factors? It's your website. Google loves an old, fast, popular website. It's your content. Does it rival some of the best content on the internet for what you're trying to rank for? Does it also solve a user's search query? You know, that search intent really matters. Then your authority. This is primarily links. Do you have good links pointing to your content and your website overall? And then everything else. But these first three are what really matters. And today we're really talking about building that authority. And all of this fits into the I Am SEO framework. As a framework I came up to help explain to our clients how we think about SEO. The I in I Am is intent. What does somebody want and why do they want it when they're searching for it? What is the asset we're going to create to give them that? In this case, it would be an article. Where will this asset live? In this case, the medium would be on our website. And then finally, the authority, again, why we're here today. How do we make this more relevant? How do we get more links to this? But the thing that somebody's going to ask, I know I'll get trolled in the comments, do links really matter? Google and all these SEO experts and speakers and gurus say, like, just create great content and blah, blah, blah. Here, let me explain to you how that works. So first of all, Ahrefs has done 2 exhaustive studies. The first one they published, and then it doesn't even exist on the web anymore. And the second one just confirmed what they found in the first one. But it was just that the link factors correlated way more to ranking than anything else. So the number of links you have to the specific page, the number of links overall to your website, and then all the on-page stuff, keywords and titles, all those things that SEO plugins try to convince you really matter. They don't. Less than a 5% correlation, even having your keyword in the title. So Google looks at this way bigger, but we're here to talk about links today. This is my buddy Matt Giovanisi. If you look in the description below, you'll see a link to an interview we did. What's really interesting about Matt is that he has never focused on link building. He is not a link builder. He is 100% a designer and content guy. He is a media guy. So he never focused on link building. And he created this website called Roasty Coffee. Then not that long ago, he actually sold it. He talked about it on his website, Money Lab, and Roasty was ranking really well. Why? Because Matt just made great content. But the green line on this is where Matt sold the website. And if you look at the referring domains in Ahrefs, you can see what the people that bought it did was they started doing a lot of backlinking to it. They started doing a lot of link building. The links went from roughly around 200 from whatever that is, June-ish 2018. to now today, over 600. So they tripled the links. That's a very good, even up and to the right kind of curve. Doesn't look like unnatural or anything. Let's look at what happened by building those links. All of a sudden, the traffic shot way up. It went from, less than 100K a month. These are estimates in Ahrefs, but that's my favorite SEO tool. So that's where I'm pulling them from. But look, keywords went up. Traffic went up, value went up. It is now pulling in nearly $500,000 in organic traffic value every single month. Link building, they clearly saw a great opportunity for that in this website. So do you have to build links? No, but should you? Absolutely. Now let's talk about link building past. Where have we come from? This is me kind of reminiscing about my past, but you should know to how we got to today. Before we talk about the Dream 100, we have to understand, how did we get to this? There's not some novel approach that comes out of nowhere. So this is in 2010 when I discovered even just building links. And the way that, this is an article from Pat Flynn, smartpassiveincome.com. It's where I found it. You can see 2,200 comments on there. One of them was mine, when I commented later in 2012. And this is how we used to build links. We'd have our website in the middle. We would build other websites around it, new blogs, Web 2.0s like, WordPress.com and Blogger, kind of fake blogs. And then we would hammer those with a bunch of just scammy link building stuff, Build My Rank, Article Marketing Robot, spinning articles, all these things that still work to some degree. SEOs that are really more like gray hat, black hat will see this as this is tiered link building is what we call it now. It doesn't work that well, long term, but it does work really, really well in some industries where building links is really, really hard. So we all did this. In fact, I did it too. Here's my receipt for the best spinner. I was heavily involved. I got in a lot of trouble when Build My Rank went down because I was using it pretty heavily. And I was like, I can't do that anymore. So I thought, all right, I have to figure out how people are building links now. It's how people are building links today. They're getting scripts from websites about link building. The problem is these scripts don't really work for anybody except for people who are looking for backlinks to their backlink blog about backlinks. And it's just silly, right? Notice how this script allows a lot of personalization without a lot of effort. No, it doesn't. Not at all. This is terrible. This is awful personalization. And you know what? I can say that firsthand. I'm not just scoffing at it. I sent these emails. I sent hundreds and hundreds of these emails. I kept track of them. I had them in my Google Sheets. I did broken link building, resource page link building. I reached out to everybody and I followed up with everybody and all of these different things. And I had like 3 links to show for it. Out of all that link building, all those, the gurus telling me to send those scripts, I sent them away. I used canned emails and Gmail and all of this stuff, and I had 3 links to show for it. And you know how many of those links are still around today? You can see these are all back in, like 2017? Back when I was trying to do this, you know how many of those links still exist today? 0. None of them. I did all of that for nothing, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes because everybody is doing it. As soon as you say great stuff, this is somebody on my team that was like, assuming we don't want to do this, but I'll let you decide. Amazing job on your page. You have on your site really great stuff. So I wanted to get in touch with you. I wrote this other article kind of like your article. Like, ew. You wrote an article and I wrote something like it, so read it? That's bizarre. Why would I want to do that? You're just telling me you did something kind of like what I did. Okay, but I already did it. I'm done. Why would I link to your article? Like, it's so bizarre, right? But that's how these gurus, these SEO gurus, teach people to pitch. Here's another script, right? Oh, I was Googling around for content. Were you really Googling around? If you say great stuff or great work or keep up the great work or I was Googling around, I know you're scripting me, bro. I know you are. And I work in this industry, and you might get away with it in some industries, but I think that long term, this is not the way to go. Here's one from SEO Tribunal. They didn't even try to personalize it. They just sent that out in mass, right? And also click unsubscribe for what? I didn't subscribe. So they can get in a lot of trouble with GDPR. I don't recommend you do it this way. And that's why I want to present to you today. The Dream 100 approach is the future of link building for SEO. You don't need 1,000 backlinks. You don't need 1,000,000. You just need 100 of them from your ideal websites. And I want to remind you, if you stay and watch till the end of the video, I got something really cool. I'm going to make an offer for you right here in YouTube. You'll be able to take advantage of it. It's pretty rad. So make sure you hang on. Check it out. Let's keep talking about the future of link building. Now, first of all, before we talk about link building, you got to have content that's going to attract links. What I mean by that is creating something that's unique, either survey results, something that doesn't exist anywhere else, a rare interview, some sort of really cool superpowered list post, an epic guide or tutorial, sharing some sort of unique story, this strenuous journey where you started somewhere and got somewhere else, or just an exhaustive comparison between multiple options. These are just ideas, but this is the kind of content that overall is really going to attract links. Now, My history with the Dream 100 came from reading Chet Holmes' book, The Ultimate Sales Machine, and I just couldn't ignore it after a while. I had it on my Amazon wish list for like a year or two, but then I talked to Glenn Alsop at Viper Chill. I heard Russell Brunson mention it. I heard Noah Kagan mention it twice, both on his own podcast and on the Tim Ferriss show, and I was like, all right, I got to read this book. And I learned about this idea about the Dream 100. And what I want to give you today is like the 10% of what I do with it that's going to get you all the way there, right? You don't need a million backlinks. And I want to give you an example of what the Dream 100 really looks like. So this is Glenn Alsop when he launched Detailed.com. This is the email Glenn sent out in June 2017 to say, hey, I'm launching this new website, etc. Look at what happened right after that website went live. Look at all the links to it. And why? Why so many links right away? Did Glenn do some sort of pitch box, automated resource page, link building, and all this other stuff? No. Glenn just sent out the email, sent it out to his network of friends, and then started just publishing content. And that's what really matters here. Creating a network of friends and people who want to promote your stuff. This matters tremendously and is extremely valuable. If you look within that first month, and not just overall, right? This is going all the way through January 2019. But in that first month, from May to July, 88 new, I'm not a math doctor, I think that's 88 new backlinks just from the website going live. He sent out an email saying he was doing it and he got 88 links in the first month. That's pretty spectacular, and that's leveraging that friend network. Look what happened to the organic traffic over time. It exploded. Again, why? Because of that links, but also because of the network. Look at Chris Guillebeau's Side Hustle School. I don't think Chris does any sort of outreach or link building, but his network of people around him is so good that as he launched the site, it just continues to grow in links over time. This works for everybody. You don't have to be Glenn. You don't have to be Chris Guillebeau. This works for everybody. When I was starting out, I sent an email to Pat Flynn, and I was one of the first 50 guests on his podcast because I reached out to him extremely genuinely and just said, I have an awesome success story I'd love to share with you. What's the best way to let you know how you've helped me? And he was just like, just send it to me an email. And I sent him this email that was pretty much a blog post that had images and formatting and all of this stuff. And he's like, do you want to come on my podcast to talk about it? And I was on like one of the top business podcasts really early on. This was 2011. So tremendously impactful and something, I was a nobody. There was no reason for him to have me on the show other than I knew that I could provide value to his audience. I did the same thing with Ryan Holiday. I said, hey, this is back when I was a teacher. I'm going to get a classroom set of books for my classroom. And he said, email me when it's up. And I just sent him an email. Not only did I set that up, not only did Ryan share it, but it was completely funded within a couple minutes. And Ryan himself donated money to it in 2016. He doesn't know me. He's never talked to me before. Not long after this, I ended up going on to write for thedailystoic.com. Something, again, another really important, influential website. Why? Because I'm about building relationships. The Dream 100 with regard to link building is about building relationships. Now, here's how you win with the Dream 100. First of all, have a good reason for reaching out. Writing something similar to what somebody else has already written is not a good reason. Trying to get a link is not a good reason for reaching out. Right? This is the type of stuff that I've written that has worked sometimes, but not always. But again, this is still me asking for the link. This is not Dream 100 link building. Here's one that Glenn got. This is bad link building, right? Hi, I'm Nicole from this. I read one of your articles. I noticed you linked to this about starting a blog. We just wrote an article about starting a blog, blah, blah, blah. Here's one that Tim got from Ahrefs. Again, same thing. Oh, I wrote something similar to what you already wrote. That's a terrible excuse for reaching out. All of these, like the similar thing, the same thing, and the I think you should just link to me thing, they're done. We can't keep doing this. It doesn't work. It's not scalable over time. So here's what we're going to do first. We got to make a list. It's called the Dream 100 for a reason. We're reaching out to our 100 ideal websites to get links from. Your first tier, the first 33 people on the list should be people that are at the same level as you. You can use this. You can use arbitrary metrics like domain authority or domain rating from Moz and Ahrefs accordingly. You can reach out to tier 2 people that are, maybe a little bit farther past you. Maybe they get more traffic. They seem a little bit above you. For me, examples would be like Copyblogger, Smart Passive Income, bigger, more popular websites. In tier 3, yeah, like a third of your list is going to be moonshots. This would be me trying to get a guest post on Tim Ferriss's blog, which is possible, or even Seth Godin's blog, which is impossible because nobody but Seth writes for that blog. But again, getting a mention from Seth on his blog would be really valuable. And the only way you get a mention from Seth is by sharing your stuff with him. And it might be worth it to reach out to that top third of people that could really, really put you on. Now, how do we find tier 2 and tier 3? It's easy to find people at our level, right? But like I said, I like to check the SEO tools. I use Ahrefs, Google things related to your industry, see who's already ranking, search out a blue ocean. So don't look at direct competitors, but just others that I can share knowledge with that would care. And I love this. This is my best hack that I'm really glad you're watching this video because nobody else is talking about this really. Looking for affiliates in your niche, going on ClickBank, JVZoo, etc. Look for an affiliate in your niche and see if they have a leaderboard for their like top affiliates. And that'll tell you, all right, these people are top affiliates for these people in the niche. These are people whose websites I want to get on. They're great affiliates, but it would also be really valuable if I got a link from them. And more importantly, again, built a relationship with them. I'm not being paid to promote this or share this even. I didn't even mention to Glenn that I was going to put it in this video, but I'm a member of Detailed Pro. It is literally the quickest shortcut to building a Dream 100 list. I highly suggest you check it out. Go to detailed.com/pro. That's just the actual link. I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. I don't even know if they have an affiliate program, but it's really, really cool. Glenn pretty much just went into every industry. Him and his team went into every industry, pulled out all the major verticals, pulled out everybody who's has really strong websites, gave you even some custom tips on how you might want to reach out to them. You can sort them, all this cool stuff. So again, check out Detailed Pro. It's a great shortcut to building your Dream 100. And why am I talking about building friends? This is a great example from Pat Flynn. These are the websites Pat links to the most. Not because these people ask for links, but because these are his friends. Chris Ducker is one of his best friends. Derek Halpern from Social Triggers, Amy Porterfield, Darren Rouse, Michael Hyatt, Ramit, Caleb, John Dumas. Like, these are all people that Pat has a close relationship with. And there's no amount of outreach that could get Pat Flynn to link to me 125 times. But if you're one of Pat's best friends, you know that's going to happen. Now, that's the thing. Like, you're not trying to make friends and manipulate people into getting you links, but you know the long game of being in business is about relationships. And that begets links. Putting together this Dream 100 for link building and starting with the relationship, the links, I guarantee, I can tell you from all of my professional experience, will come to follow. So remember, when you're reaching out, remember your why. Right? Why are you reaching out? Do you have a good reason? Do you have something worth sharing? Number 2, remember their why. You're emailing them, but what do they care about? They want to make money and they want to get results for the people reading their website. And if you can show how what you're sharing with them or what you want to do for them, whether it's writing a guest post or being added to their resource, like whatever you're reaching out to them for, can get them both of those things, they're more likely to open your email and reply and listen to what you have to say. And then finally, do your research. There's this great time. If you've ever listened to the Entrepreneurs and Coffee podcast, my old podcast, I talked to Corbett Barr, and Corbett was so surprised. I asked him some questions about his first job, and he's like, wow, have I talked about that before? And I was like, yeah, in some podcasts like 4 years ago. He's like, wow, you really did your homework. And that led to such a great long relationship that I was recently just talking to him about SEO for Fizzle.co. There's so many neat things that come from just building a long relationship and doing your homework, showing that you care enough and it's not just about you. Finally, don't give up. Most people will tweet, send one email, and they're not persistent. You can't give up. You follow up every so often. I like to follow up, a couple times in pretty short order, and then just follow up again over time. But again, if you're reaching out again, have some reason to reach out. Hey, did you see this big Google update? Hey, I noticed you published this article. It's really cool. Hey, I have some feedback on something you just did. Like, have another reason to reach out, but don't give up. Here's a great example of this. When I wrote a really, really great article for Growth Lab, I worked with an editor named Sean Blanda, who is amazing, one of the best editors I've ever worked with. And it took over a year. If you're looking at the dates here, it started March 21st, 2017, and March 2nd, 2018 is when the article went live. It takes time. You have to keep following up. What's cool is that I built a relationship with Sean, and now that Sean's moved on, from Ramit's company, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, and Growth Lab and all the other websites Ramit runs. He now works at InVision, which is a web design prototyping app. And I work at a primarily web design and marketing agency. So now I have a great relationship that I can reach out to him and say, hey, I'd love to write for InVision, or how can I support what you're doing at InVision? All these great things. So it's so cool. I mean, we use InVision at Click. So there's so many cool things that come when you build genuine relationships. Again, you just have to reach out. Here's a hilarious set of tweets. One from starts with Mike Vardy saying, I really want to bring Austin Kleon on my podcast, blah, blah, blah. If you can help me, I'd love to hear from you. And Austin himself replied and was like, you didn't even bother to email me? And Mike was like, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Always email the person first, especially if you're going to put out, hey, can anybody connect me with this person? And you've never even tried to connect with them. It's just silly. Just email people. So I want to walk you through an example of this really quickly so you know how to apply it. Remember, don't forget to watch until the end. I'll actually offer you some personal help in putting together a Dream 100 list. So I wanted to do this in in a vertical that was not digital marketing. Everybody loves to use digital marketing examples. I think things in digital marketing are skewed because it's like the niche of the niche, like building backlinks to your backlinks blog. That's really easy, right? However, I want to do something different. So here's a gardening blog. Let's say I'm trying to put together a Dream 100 for my gardening blog. So I just Google. I don't need special SEO tools. You can see I have Ahrefs installed here. You can use Moz the same way if they have a free Chrome extension. If I'm looking for gardening blogs, I found this gardeningknowhow.com blog. I noticed they have a high domain rating. Cool, let me go check it out. So I click through. I noticed there's 3 real ways to get in touch. They have a newsletter. I could sign up for the newsletter and then just reply to that. Instead of cold emailing them, I'll just reply to the newsletter. They're on a lot of social channels, so I could reach out to them there. But then I also noticed this is in the footer of their website, they also had gardening writers. And I'm like, oh, maybe I could just, if I want to start building a relationship, I could just write for them. So I go to that page. First thing I see, we will pay you. Cool. That means they value content. They value good content. But at the bottom, it says at this time, we're no longer accepting articles that are written for the purpose of embedding a link to another site. Interesting. You know why they're writing that kind of crap? You know why they put a space between editor and at gardening know-how and number 1 here on this image? Because they know that people are scraping their website for email addresses and they're getting a lot of pitches to get links and they're tired of it. They're like, look, we're going to pay you because we take this crap seriously, but don't pitch us just to get a link. And that's the thing. We're not trying to just get a link. We're trying to get 125 links, right? We're trying to build a relationship over time and write for them again and again and again and work with them again and again and again and again. Again, we got to stop doing this kind of stuff. I just want to show you again, I've been there. I've written these crappy emails. I've been that scumbag. Don't do it. It's worthless. Instead of doing this kind of outreach, I would reach out to Gardening Know-How and I would just say, I noticed you really shine on Pinterest. They have 4 million monthly views. Facebook, they have 500,000 likes. That's significant. They work with advertisers. Cool. So, I have to contact Shelly, which is great. That's another person to talk to. I saw on their media kit. This is interesting. They really do take this seriously. In their About page, I noticed it was started by Heather Rhodes. They take a lot of pride in what they do. They donate a lot of money. I could even leverage my SEO knowledge to be like, hey, your blog's on a subdomain. It'd be better if you moved it to the root domain. There's really a lot that I can do there. Again, I use hunter.io to find email addresses to reach out. There's so many options, again, because I want to build these kind of relationships. Because again, I don't want just the one link. I want to build a ton over time. And the goal is really to go friends first. I want to build friends. I want that friends network. That's what matters more than anything else. Now, if you're like, Brendan, I don't know how to put all this together. You're talking about content. You're talking about putting together a Dream 100. That was really overwhelming. It's all in this one video. I've actually broken this out into a 30-day challenge called the One Ranking Away Challenge. And people are absolutely loving it. I'm getting tons of positive feedback. You can find that at 100daysofseo.com/subscribe. The link is in the description. Again, that's 100daysofseo.com/subscribe. That will walk you through a 30-day organized process of just, hey, do this little task every single day. And by the end of it, you will have content worth reaching out for, worth getting links to, and you will have a set plan of how to get links back to that content. If you go to 100daysofseo.com as well, you'll see a bunch of awesome blog posts. My partner there is Podreacher, helping me create all of those posts from my podcast episodes and my videos. Go to podreacher.com to check them out. Now, I promised you I'd give you something at the end of this video. So here's what I want you to do. Comment below, what website are you working on right now? And this is what I love about YouTube. Only, a certain percentage of people will watch videos all the way through. Anywhere from like 20% to 70% of people will actually watch a full video. So not that many people are seeing this right now because they give up too early. But if you put a link to your website in the description below, let me know what you're working on, what industry you're in. I'll give you the first 10 people 3 solid Dream 100 opportunities. So I'll give you a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3 for your industry. And that is going to be extremely valuable. Here's 3. This is advanced link building. Here's 3 people I think you should build relationships with, 3 websites that are worth building relationships with. So go ahead and comment below. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know your URL, and I'll give you those Dream 100 opportunities to get you started. I've been Brendan Hufford. Don't forget to work hard, be nice to people, and don't get too lost trying to create something that matters.